Jesus Freak here, and I jumped into a conversation on a web forum a couple days ago about the whole Sinaiticus issue because they were talking about claims that some 19th century Greek kid forged a manuscript, which of course I think is patently absurd, especially since the kid was a compulsive liar. But I happen to mention in passing the concept about Muslims protecting the monastery. I said, have any of you heard of this? And someone actually piped out and responded in the affirmative. Not only, he said, were Muslims charged with protecting the Mount Athos, where St. Catherine's Monastery is. He said, according to the monks at St. Catherine's, he says, so this is like third or fourth persons, take it with a grain of salt. But he says they got their orders to protect the monastery from Mohammed himself. You'd wonder why Mohammed, you'd wonder what he'd want in an Orthodox monastery. Anyway, going to go on to some more random thoughts about the two manuscripts, Sinaiticus and Vaticanus, that are treated like the be-all and end-all of New Testament textual criticism. Thought I'd mention Vaticanus because I'm aware that Erasmus, although he didn't have a copy himself, he knew someone who had access to it. He asked his friend to go and check a few things in Vaticanus for him. And in the end, I think the only thing he actually used out of there was the fact that it didn't have the comma Johanneum. As for Sinaiticus, I think I remember reading that it had been repaired or rewritten several times, and I'm not sure if that's the manuscript where I heard that one scribe attempted to fix what was written there, and another scribe wrote some comment in the margin calling him a blockhead or something. I'd have to look that up. Anyway, I think using these two manuscripts as a be-all and end-all of criticism it's not critical, it's not scientific, and it makes no sense. The logical way to do it would be to look at not only those two manuscripts, but also contemporary manuscripts, derivative manuscripts, and all the various fragments. You're going to come up with something. I don't think it's going to look like the critical text, but it's going to look somewhat more like the patriarchal text, or maybe even the Textus Receptus, although, probably won't have the comma Johanneum because that's got no evidence in Greek whatsoever until well into the second millennium. And in the overall scheme of things, with all these other resources, Sinaiticus is going to mean about nothing. Vaticanus is going to mean about nothing. And I think that's as it should be. Jesus freak out.